Welcome. Today, we're going to look at some ag reports, do some work on the trainer, and then we're going to look at some real life hands. So it's kind of an interesting uh, course we're going to have here. We're going to start with as theory-based as you can, looking at aggregate reports. Then we'll apply those to some theory-based, solver-based hands in the trainer, and then we'll look at some actual hands from Mike. So this is our ag report. They've added some things, which is interesting. They've added some tools to sort by equity and EV on the left. So this is the spot we're looking at. We're looking at fold, 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 button raises, we three bet in the small blind, comes back to the button who calls, and now action's back on us as the three better. So the first thing to look at, I think, is across all, I don't know, what is it, 517 flops or whatever in total? What are our global frequencies? Across all flops, what are we doing? And surprisingly, what we're doing the most is checking in the three bet pot, in theory. Um, and when we do bet, we're betting pretty equally across most sizes, but we're betting mostly small. So the way I look at this is I guess you're betting more than you are checking when you think about it. You're betting 40%, or betting 60%, checking 40%. But I guess the way to simplify this is that you can usually bet small and get away with it. Now, the other question is which flops are the best and which flops are the worst for us as the three better, in theory. So let's sort this by equity. So we'll sort this by out of position equity. So we sort by highest equity boards. Obviously, it's going to be Broadway boards. And we're going to, because it's Broadway boards, we're going to bet a lot more. We're going to bet most of the time. Here we're checking 7%, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, let's do this. Let's try filtering this. Let's make it any. Let's highest, lowest. So Broadway board. Now what are we doing? We're still, notice, I guess the interesting thing is that, so if you look at the top line, this is global still, and this is what we filtered for. The interesting thing is that we are still checking, but when we do bet, I think we have such a range advantage in this environment. We're betting small all the time on these rainbow boards. We don't really have any big bets on these. I'm sorry, on these Broadway boards. We don't have any really big bets. Now let's make this even more of a big card board. Yeah, now we're checking a lot less, and we're still betting small. All right, so that is a quick summation of boards that are really good for us. Broadway boards, really good. Ace King, Ace 8, connected, King King 9, stuff like that. Now let's change this to out of position equity being the lowest. And what are we doing? Well, checking, not surprising. And when we do bet, very infrequently, we're only using a polarized sizing. This is a heuristic we've spoken about many times. The boards that are worst for us are these straight available through straight boards that are like seven high, eight high, nine high. These are the worst for us as a three better in this configuration. Now, and yeah, we can compare it. And so that kind of gives us a overview of what's going on here. Let's filter these boards and see what happens. Filter, highest card, 9, lowest card, 5. Again, we can compare to overall across all boards, checking now. All of a sudden, we're checking 70%. And again, when we do bet on these boards, we're taking a very polar sizing and we're betting up P75 a lot. So that kind of tells us a little bit about two extremes. Obviously, there's lots in the middle. Um, Anything else you guys want to look at in ag reports, or should we move on to looking at some hands in the trainer?
Show us a board that is like ace low low, like ace 4 3 or ace 5 deuce.
Okay, let's make it ace. Highest card is an ace. Middle card is a 5, 4,
Don't
3,
don't do a
2.
don't do a possible straight.
Yeah, that's
Dis
kind of what I, yeah, that's why I was like ace
disconnected.
5 2 because they shouldn't have the straight when
That's
they do
true,
it.
yeah. Yeah, technically. Well, ace 5 2, yeah, they can't have there's
How about
in theory
ace,
no straights.
ace paired, low, ace low, low, ace paired low?
Okay.
And when we do that, I think the key is looking at what's our global and then how's it compare and contrast. It looks like all our betting sizes drop down to small, but we are betting more often.
And the paired board's going to do that. Now unpair it.
All right, filter. What if we do sevens? And then we disconnect it. This should leave more. Yeah, this is going to leave more than just paired boards. This is no straight possible, no wheel possible disconnected any. Does that fit the bill?
I think so.
Like ace, there's still paired boards obviously here, but like ace 6-2, ace 7-2, ace 7-3. And it looks like we just don't have big sizing, but we do, and we check more than global.
And then, and if it's, if you would entertain me, if anybody else wants to see something else, now change the ace to a king high with the same low cards.
How'd you read my mind, Mike?
Great minds.
Great, great.
Look at the difference.
Yeah, now we're betting. Now these king high boards are important. You're right. Look how
See, this
little we're
actually
checking. That's really dramatic.
this kind of surprised me.
I think generally king high boards are, well, this is telling us king high boards are very good for the three better.
Well, I was kind of thinking, how many, like, don't we have more aces that are going to be three bet from the small blind than we are going to have
I
kings
think
that
it
are going to be three
has,
bet?
I think it has more to do with
That they have less
They're
kings to
how
defending.
continue
many
with?
kings they're defending, right?
Because, yeah, they should defend almost all their suited aces that they open.
Raise, button, call.
So they defend a lot of suited aces.
They have a lot more suited aces that they defend relative. And they also have unsuited aces that they defend in this configuration.
And they have less kings. They would open generally what king five, king six, king seven, and then not defend it. They should be they have only one offsuit king they defend. So
Yeah, so they've got a lot more kings. So if you like put in like
but we have a lot more kings. Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a lot. Well, this is them.
yeah,
We have a lot more kings. Yeah, we have a lot more kings.
go to the three betting range of the small blind for me, please.
Claire, three bet.
It still kind of surprises me because of how many, like, look at the frequency of aces that we three bet and the amount that they defend less than we three bet, and we three bet more kings than they defend. So I would think that aces and king boards we would probably you would continue on both of them a lot, but makes sense, I guess.
What if we I don't know if this is going to tell us anything because it might be too large a sample, but what if we okay, so now this is our default. Let's just compare very simply ace high boards. So our betting goes down. Our betting is small and frequent, but we're actually checking more. Okay, now compare contrast to in our boards. Now, see, checking is we were checking more on ace high boards, right? Than we were
Hmm.
against global. And now also our betting goes up. So we really love king high boards as, and I think that's a really good, frankly, a really good heuristic to take away. I, I mean, I've actually expanded this heuristic a little bit, and I will bet more often out of position on king high boards, especially live. Sure, they're flatting a lot, but I've got to have some portion of my range that I bet where I don't hit, and I play more aggressively, and I will play king high boards more aggressively. Just going on, if this me totally misapplied to live ranges, but going on the theory that
That's the
in
is
solver, king high boards are often bet.
it good live when they continue too wide with more offsuit combos that contain a king, and then are they going to float wider? We think they probably float wider, right?
It depends on, I think floating with
Like when you small
floating with
bet, you
hands they
keep their
should float with,
range.
in theory.
Yeah, like they're because they're gonna. I mean, any hand, a lot of the time they will float with the hand that contains an ace. From what I've seen, I mean, they'll at least call one street
Uh,
there.
yeah,
So it's like I don't know. It's just this is I would love to no lock these things to figure out.
I know. We're on Josh alert. If Josh comes in, let me know.
Yeah,
If
no, but
anybody sees Josh, let me know because then well, okay, so let's look at the most checked. So this is the most checked um configuration in poker in theory.
nine
Cutoff versus
six three.
button. And then
Well, it's a very wet and dynamic board.
let's give it a king high board. And this is when we bet the most. But so your question is, so let's just bet. Let's say we have 50%. What's your most common C bet size out of position heads up that you use, Brian?
Um, my strategy is odd. I'm usually only doing thick value. But I would say the it's probably around half pot still, unless it depends on the board. Like, if there's a lot of hands that can continue, I will go bigger.
All right, so they're supposed to defend about 65% of the range. They're not really folding much. Um,
Mhm.
but
Do we
let's
think
let's think about what are they floating here. I I don't think I don't think of what kind of I don't know if so you're saying that a live player is going to float pure with ace nine, ace eight, ace six here.
I'm not going to say pure, but I think they kind of float. a little wide with ace. When they have overcards is when I notice that they float the most. So king high does make it slightly less because the only hands that they can float with are ace high hands. But I did notice like there's a lot of the times where if it does come like 9-6-3 like you had, you're when you see bet, they float with queen jack, jack 10, all that shit that has basically the only thing it's drawing to is a pair. It's not drawing to any sort of straight or flush or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that something you see? I feel like I noticed that they will float with overs a lot. And so I guess maybe this isn't, maybe it is definitely, it's good to just see bet here because they have a lot less combos of hands that they will float with in live poker
Yeah,
because they've,
speaking specifically of king high boards, yeah, I think so.
yeah. But I think on like a jack high board, which it doesn't tell us, we're not supposed to see bet as much on a jack high board, I don't believe. I mean, I know we're not supposed to as much on a jack high
Yeah.
board. Um, so on a jack high board, I would say that like c betting range is just not great because you're going to get floated by ace queen ace you're going to get floated by just two overs a lot of the time or some one over and that wraps around the top pair. I mean like a lot of the time on a jack high board there's some other type of draw and there's a gut shot and an over, so I would say it's not as good in those situations. But king high, I mean I when I first started playing I used to always see bet king high boards because I knew that the heuristic of, I mean, I used to almost always do it. I didn't always do it, but I didn't like that it leaves you in that position on the turn when you get called that you're kind of like, all right, where the hell do I go now?
Yeah, sure. You gotta have a little bit of a plan. I mean, you gotta understand, obviously, you gotta understand how your combo interacts. If there are a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
cards that are going to allow you to continue.
what would
But
you see bet on a king high board? So like let's say you see bet the king high board because I would say that it's not good to see bet your strong aces. Like I think that's very bad because you have showdown value still and then you're kind of in that spot on the turn where it's like, okay, they're gonna float too wide, but do I still need, am I bluffing here? What am I doing right now? Am I taking showdown? Am I bluffing? Like what do I want to do here? Versus when you have queen high, it's very different. Like queen high, obviously, you don't really have showdown value, so you kind of need to do something.
yeah, you have a good point about ace highs. We're checking them a lot too on this board. You're
But
right.
you're,
Ace highs are a different case. All right, let's spend anything else we can play with in the ag report. You guys any got any ideas what you want to look at? Or should we go on to trainer? Let's see. So we've looked at boards where we're doing really well. We've looked at boards where we're doing really poorly. These are the ones that we're doing really poorly in theory.
I have another question, real quick, of what you
Sure.
think. So when you see bet a king high board, we think they're going to continue too wide with hands like king jack, king queen, all that stuff. So say you see bet air and they continue. I a lot of the time in 1-2 live poker, you're not playing deep, so you don't have as much stack depth to push them off. Do you think that you're going to get them to fold strong? Like, I mean, I'd say King Jack is pretty strong and all these
On
types
a
of hands.
king high board?
Yeah, do we think we're getting them to fold with three streets, or do we think that that's a punt and that they're going to call off a lot with those hands? I mean, I think that depending on the player, I think a lot of them are going to call off a lot with stronger King X than they probably should in theory.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's very player dependent.
Yeah, I mean, like I've had
So,
players that shown me them folding strong top pair, so I know in the future I can make them fold strong top pair. But a lot of players I've seen them call me with absolute bullshit top pair. So it's like I don't know how comfortable I feel just going three streets across without any information. But
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think that we need to barrel blindly because it was a king high board, but
So this is more or less if we can get them to fold on the flop, that's great. Like when we see bet the flop and they just have to fold out so much crap that we get to that it's just gonna print,
yeah, I
and then
mean
we
we've
can.
seen over and over again looking at when we know lock and we give them a very wide range,
Mhm.
we are c-betting out of position pretty
It
consistently,
off
right? And we
Yeah, and
saw
often
that
uses a
whatever when
large
we got
size.
Josh to pull up like I mean, the two examples we got just to look at, I can remember, are when we ISO a limper, we're C betting range, and when the other one was when we were three betting and they were defending too widely, we were C betting range.
Often large, right?
We were, I think, if I recall, we were mixing small and in middle, like
Okay. I thought it was
small and 50%.
mostly a large size. Well, 50% is kind of large. Oh, that's an ISO and a three bet pot. I know 50% is kind of a large size. But yeah.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that usually when we're betting often, like what we saw
Mhm.
here. All of a sudden our sizing goes down in theory, right?
Yeah.
So when we bet range, essentially, our sizing is usually clustered around B20, B33.
Yeah.
And when we're betting infrequently, we're taking a very polar strategy and betting large often.
Yeah.
Like let's look
Yeah.
at like the worst, like some really bad boards for us. Out of position, equity. Notice that in our three bet call, we have some boards we just are killing it, right? But when even on the worst boards for us against this three bet calling range, we're not too far away from being a coin flip when it comes to equity. But um, but it's gonna be hard to realize it, of course, because we're playing out of position, so it's gonna be tougher to realize. So like if we look at some of the worst boards for us, let's filter for again, so this is no filters right now. Sorting by equity out of position. Checking a lot. Let's make highest card a nine, lowest card a four. And let's just pick one of these to look at. So the big thing to look at is again, we filtered for highest card nine, lowest card four. We're checking a lot more. And when we do bet, notice how much more of our betting is up here as opposed to when we're betting across all textures, our betting is down in the 20% or 30%. So we can look at like one of these boards. 964.
I would say
Yeah,
this
so
applies even more in live just because when they open the button the widest and they continue the widest from the button. So they're just gonna have so much more garbage than solver
yeah,
will.
I think you're right. So if that's the case, it probably like if we no lock them to have a much wider defending range than 24% of their hands, right? In theory, usually this number is really consistent when you look at when you're three bet, you're usually folding about 60% regardless of position. But when their calling range is it's not this is 140 combos. So what do they have? Maybe 300 combos? Maybe 200? Who knows? They have well, we'll say technically it's a shit ton more combos they're defending from a three bet. So I think the result is that when you're out of position, you're going to revert to more of strategy that we see when we have a range advantage in theory, which means we're going to bet small and frequently because they're because of a range advantage. Like if you look at it's all about range advantage. Like look at range advantage here. Like, and we're not really a dog any place, but we don't really have any kind of massive range advantage across the entire flop, right? Across the entire range of hands. But then, excuse me, if you look at the where we are doing the best, that's equity. Let's stay consistent, stick with equity here. So this is like hands where This is a board we love. Let's look at the range advantage. See what happens. Now, all of a sudden, we're just like are dominant across this entire range. Do you guys remember what this looked like when we did some node locking? How drastically different this was? We were our out of position line was like up here, and their in position line was like down here. It was really dramatic when we were node locking these spots.
Yeah,
So
I remember that.
yeah. So then, and the point I'm making is that I think what happens when they defend too much is that this strategy probably in theory reverts to more of this strategy where we're c betting a lot. This one's maybe a little bit because there's maybe we're checking a little bit because there's yeah, I think we're gonna see bet smaller and more frequently. We'll go to the trainer in a minute here, but let's look at boards where we bet the most. So, do I have any filters on? No. So like this board, ace ace jack, yeah, these are the boards we bet the most, small and frequently. But let's filter for we know about paired boards. Let's make it not paired. Ace king 10, betting a ton. How does this actually look when we look at it in solver? Just small range bets across. I think this is the strategy that solver's gonna like to repeat myself. I think this is the strategy that solver's gonna like against the wider range that we see and we anticipate that people are going to be using um, live. They're defending too damn much. They're just calling too much.
Yeah, I'd like to node lock their response and then see how it acts across the next few streets. I bet that it only continues with strong hands, and then because if we node lock their response, that they're only continuing with
Yeah. All right.
because on ace king 10, well, they're gonna continue kind of wide on this board because a lot of their hands are gonna have a gut shot. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
So, Brian, you're on Josh watch.
Okay.
If Josh comes in, uh, he, and I always ask him, maybe you can ask him if we can do some node locking today. And we'll node lock for what we're talking about and compare it to what we learned here. Okay, so what? Let's do this way. Check. Yeah, King 10 2. These are the boards. These are the boards we always should be betting. And it's pretty easy to see why the classic King 7-2, which I already showed, always betting. King high disconnected. This goes back to our conversation about King high, right? King high disconnected are the boards that are best for us as the three better out of position. Notice all King high disconnected rainbow is what we see here. I mean, I'm going through, you can see me moving through the entire set of flops here in this little right band. And as I move through, I mean, it takes a while before we get beyond king high. But eventually then ace high disconnected, king 10 disconnected, jack boards, uh, jack high boards are very interesting. The three bet pot in this configuration. Now, we'll go to the trainer in a minute and go through the group. I think let's look at the wonderful, weird world of jack high boards for a little bit for fun. See if we can make that interesting. All right. Jack high boards. I think weird stuff happens on jack high boards. Jack high board. Yeah, really weird stuff happens. So this is This is global. This is us. All of a sudden, on Jack Eye Beard boards, rather, we've got these. We love the big bet. And for what I understand, it's because it's very similar to King High, but it's a little bit more extreme. So we got lots of big bets, B75s, and we actually have it's the board where we have the most over bets. We actually get some over bets on these boards. And I think we have some all-ins. And there are some boards that we have all-ins. This is the weird part. These are where all our all-ins coming from. So if we clear, sort by all-in boards, Jack high boards, Jack 10 is the weirdest one. We just say, eat some of this on Jack 10 boards. And we're just shoving. We're just open shoving 350% pot on flop. And it's very hard to. Does anybody have any theories as to why this happens? Because I don't know.
No, it's weird.
It's just a very strange occurrence. Now we know it's got something to do with range versus range interaction, right? I mean, clearly something's going on with their ability to defend the jacks that they are calling to a three bet. They just maybe it's because they don't have any more, very many. Thing is, they don't have very many tens too, but they just have less jacks. Yeah, maybe they don't have any of these here. It's a very interesting phenomenon in the solver world where these Jack 10 boards, I mean, in fact, they're pretty much the only boards we open shove. And it's only Jack 10 8. So this is going to work really well live. Any Jack 10 8, you're out of position. If you're at pot, just shove it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I mean, we know it's going to work. The solver's telling us to.
Oh yeah, I implement this all the time. Whenever I bring hands, you guys see open shove on the Jack 10 8 board.
It's quite an interesting phenomenon. Um, uh, anyway, all right. So why don't we go to the trainer? Do the trainer for a while, and then we will switch to.
Rodney has a hand as well that he would like to
Oh, cool,
go over with us.
great. Then we'll do that right after we go through the trainer. Is Rodney
Nice.
back?
Yeah, he's back now.
Oh, back. Okay. All right. Um, trainer work. Look at that. Check high board.
You did an open shove.
Evidently, I didn't open shove. Let's go through this board again and do it. This is an interesting board, actually. All right, let's do this board again. Repeat high. So this is a board that defies everything I just said. Well, it's monotone. That's a big difference. Let me see who's in here. We've got 7 people in here. Ready to rock. I will go first, and then I'll go to Brian, and I'll follow the list. Let me screenshot this list to someplace else. All right. We actually end up checking a lot of this board with this combo. And I don't think we even check raise a lot. I think it has to do with the monotone nature. We're checking 17% of the time. And it's like these monotone boards are like this. I've mentioned this before. I think it's kind of like in theory a nuts or nothing toy game.
And the fact that we have top pair and the nut flush draw, I think is a pretty big factor too. Like if you check
Yeah,
it out in our range of hands, I mean, we're going to check a lot anyway, but I'm
yeah.
thinking this hand in particular, we'll check, even more than I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're right. I think you're right. Now, the other question I have for the group, everybody guess this situation, who's got more flopped flushes? Jack 9 8.
Oh,
Jack's on the board, nine's on the board, eight's on the board.
cut off.
Not thinking about our hand, not thinking about card removal,
You should.
but across our entire range, who has more flushes?
The cutoff in position.
Yeah, it's in position. Let's see how. I don't think it's. I don't think it's drastic, but they have. They have the only straight flush. We don't have one. And then they have more. There's the combo right there. They have six. They have more as well. We've got more, but they've got more as a percentage of range. So that's, I think, also why we check sometimes here. So we check. They check back. Now the question is, can we go for value here? I think it likes to check again. Solver playing very defensively. I think we do get to go to value here, but we don't get to go big. We don't get to go big because I think part of it is what, in theory, what's their range going to sustain? What part of their range can call? So I think we bet small. We mostly check. Yay, us. Good hand. All right, Brian, you want to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Oh, by the way,
Okay, we
I've made I've filtered what we're three betting here to a more linear range than what solver uses. All right, you got this hand. What do you want to do?
so I think we're actually gonna get to check a little bit more here. So I'm gonna check. Oh,
It's
wow,
mixing
it's a
it all
lot.
up.
I
Yeah,
want to
checking is
check
fine.
raise though when they bet.
Let's see. You get it? No, you don't get it. But you turned
Okay.
equity.
We turn equity, we have queen high. What is solver going to do here? This card is technically not, I don't think this card's going to affect either of our ranges all that much technically. So I think that now we are probably going to actually kind of go polar here with an overbet, or I think it's either 75 or 125. I'd say let's go 75.
You nailed it, dude.
Oh, it was 125. It's like better though.
You nailed it. I
I
thought
thought,
it was going to construct two streets here. Well done. Let's see what we're doing with our range. You're right. I think this is a polar spot. Check, check on this texture. Yeah, it's very polar. We don't really have small bets. Our bets are over bets.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it kind of makes sense because if we're gonna bet the flop, I think we're generally gonna use a big size there. And then when we check and he checks back, I think that we now are gonna go apply a lot of pressure when we pick up equity with gutter as well. And if I was playing live, this is probably the line I would take as well, is except I'd probably overbet for sure.
let's change it. Let's overbet. We all should use more overbets.
Oh, there we go. We take it down.
And we fold out a better hand. That's what it's all about.
There we go.
Um, all right. Mike, you want to take one?
Yep.
This is an interesting spot.
Yeah, I think just basically looking at those previous reports, we know we check an absolute shit ton here. This hand might be a hand we get to bet on occasion because of the gut shot, but we check.
I wonder if this is a good check raise, but I'm not sure. He's not going to give us the chance.
When the deuce comes, that's the brick. It's just like the previous hand in a sense. And when they check back, I think the overbet's in play again. Um, it's a question of what is it like better, 75 or B125? And I'm going to take the Brian line and go with the B125.
You nailed it. I didn't know if we were going to do it with this hand, but we do. Notice this is something I find interesting and we've talked about before. Reverse correlation. This is, notice here when you look at our overpairs specifically, notice betting more with the ones that can use them with protection. Aces are checking the most.
Hmm.
And these aces are checking the most. Yeah.
And click on back to the small blind node of the flop.
Here.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if that kind of applies to the tens here too. And it doesn't really. It's kind of like equal.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know.
Okay.
It's interesting. I don't know what the difference is. Okay. Um, all right. So we overbet and we flip out a worse hand. Well played, sir. Brian, you already did one. Melanie, would you like to take one?
I have a I have a question about that, Mike. If you're playing this hand live and when he checks back the flop, do you think his not against the solver, against the average player at 100 and now, they're probably not protecting their checking range. Would you still want to overbet this turn?
You're right about that. Not protecting their checking range. Like they will absolutely be betting just about anything with value.
So you'd probably want to go smaller. Like I'd go big that charges a flush draw, but also, small enough to get called by garbage, like some 8x or something like that. Is that
Yeah,
kind of where
yeah,
you'd be?
yeah. I would probably be more inclined to do that B75 there.
Yeah. All right. I mean, against solver, obviously it's different, but
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was kind of like in my natural world, I was like more instinctively thinking B75, but then um, calibrating to what the solver's going to like and do. I thought the overbet was good. Yeah, I don't think I'd overbet there in real
yeah.
life.
I think that's what's different about the line on mine with the draws. I would definitely overbet to apply max fold equity there. But yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right. Melanie, you want to take one?
Sure.
Okay. You have sevens on a 10-8-6 board. What would you like to do?
I think it's a check.
I think you're right. Yeah. Doing some, yeah. Our under pairs are doing some betting, mostly checking. He bets small. He bets, what is this, 20%.
Hmm. Um, this is in the solver world probably a call.
It is. I don't think you ever want to fold here against this size because you've got nutted equity draws. It's not much,
Yeah,
but I think
vector.
it allows you to call here.
I'm curious if it ever wants to raise a little
Not
bit,
much,
just a
but it's
tiny bit.
definitely in there. That brings up one of my favorite questions is where do our check races come from? So check races are coming from the most obvious, but let's see where so the most obvious obviously are over our sets. Notice our nutted sets are protecting our check raising range, but they also are trapping at some frequency against a small size. But I think, do we attack this small size? We do. When he uses this small size, so normally check raising is like around, I don't know, 12%, but we're on this. When he uses a small size, we're going up. Let's see if I'm lying. Let's give him some other sizes here. So 19. What other sizes does he use
It
here?
was actually 19 plus another five from the other size.
Ah, from the big size. Ah, okay, and then let's give him, so he uses the biggest size he's going to use. Let's say if he uses a 50%. Yeah, we're check raising 20%, so we're still check raising, but not, I guess, as much as here. Where, yeah, good point. 25%. It's not extreme, but we're attacking the small size a little bit. Okay, but where do I, so he uses the small size. Where are our check raises coming from? And the question I have on this texture is where are check raises coming from that are bluffs? We all can see like, all right, middle pair, that makes sense. Over pairs, that makes sense. Top pair, flush draw, it makes sense. Aces, sure, pure. This is always an interesting heuristic to remember. Unblocking top pair sets. We are check raising pure with eights. Okay, but then where do our fluffs come from? There's a big region down here. These are the exotic ones. King, queen, king of spades. I might find ace, queen, eight of spades. This ace, queen, eight of spades probably does calls because it has got some showdown. King, queen, king, spades. That's a really interesting one. I challenge you all this week to try to find some three bet bluffs around this kind of hand class where you don't really have. I mean, you've got 28% equity, but you're check raising pretty thin. Give this a shot this week. See what happens. Experiment with it. King, queen, king, queen, king, queen, queen, jack. Interesting backdoor. Seven. Playing to your sevens, Melanie. Ace, jack. That's a fun one. Ace five. Okay, we'll move on. All right, so we call. You have an open ender, and would you like to check to the aggressor? Or would you like to lead bet?
Um, well, it's a tricky spot because he could be, I mean, either he already has a made hand or he's betting on a better straight draw or flush draw. Mm, I think in this case, I would check.
Yeah, you've got showdown that's going to win sometimes, and I mean, so sometimes you're going to have leads, right? Here, because your
No,
leads are going to be on.
I
If you
don't
do have
think
leads,
so. Not as the out of position three better pre-flop. I don't think
I
this
know.
card.
no, not on this card, not on this card. But the point I was gonna make is you have leads, you have dunks. When you have a card that
Oh yeah, I bet if it's an offsuit king,
dramatically shifts equity to your out of position, like let's guess as a team, and then as another detour here, let's guess as a team what cards are going to have turn dogs from out of position.
king of clubs.
King of clubs. What about, yeah, king of clubs. I would say king. Somebody else make a guess. I was going to guess king of spades.
Ah, um, I don't think King of Spades as much.
Well, don't, now you can't naysay my guess. You got to pick your own guess, Brian.
I was gonna say king that doesn't complete a flush, a king that does not complete a flush.
Let's see.
But
So
I would
our theory
say,
is a king is going to result in it.
and I would say probably not, and probably some
There it
aces
is.
because they probably won't continue. They probably won't see bet a lot of aces. It's
King
probably
of
gonna check
clubs is where
back.
we get it. Now let's see. 36% of the king of clubs.
King
It
of
might be more without
spades.
the flush completing.
No, way less. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even.
zero. It's all about the king of clubs, the
How
offsuit
about
king of
hearts?
clubs.
How about the
Try an
back
offsuit
door?
ace.
Do the heart, king heart for the back door coming in. If
Oh,
that
that's an interesting one.
increases, yeah, it increases our donk
Yeah.
frequency.
So we dunk. Yeah, we dunk a lot in that card. These are hard to find. I don't know if we need to implement this in game, but It's an interesting exercise. What you wanted to see offsuit ace?
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
there it
in
is.
there. The ace and king are the ones.
Well, because you're going to defend a lot of ace high to that small bet, and he's not going to bet a lot of ace high.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you're going to
Yeah, that's a good way to look at
donk a
it. You're
lot of
right.
aces.
All right. Detour's done. Melanie checks. He
Oh,
now polarizes,
Hmm.
which is very interesting. He does not have 7-9. He is not. Let's just remind ourselves of his defense range. He is
Jack nine.
here. This is his defense range. So the nuts here are 7-9, and he does not have 7-9. And this is what essentially he's defending.
look at ace of spades donk frequency for me real quick, please.
Okay.
Because I think that he's not going to have, well, I bet you we don't donk on that card ever.
I agree. I don't think so either.
Because his likely flushes that he bets are king high flushes, so that's going to complete a ton of his draws. I would think that this is just not going to, ooh, a tiny bit of
I
donking.
think we can ignore it. It looks like noise to me. But essentially, when the nutted equity completes, we don't have dunks. He probably has more flushes here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, but I would think that king of spade, like try a king of spades, we don't dunk on either, which kind of surprises me because I think he's not going to have as many
He
flushes when
he
the king of
has
spades comes.
he has more flushes as a percentage of range and more flushes as an actual absolute number of combos. I don't think it's going to change on King of Spades much.
Well, we looked at it and he has,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
just got more flushes here. So we're never
Just
going to dunk.
keep going down the ladder. Go to a queen of clubs and
Sure.
just
queen of
see where
spades.
it kind of stops wanting to donk. No, not spades.
Okay.
Queen of clubs. All right. Okay. Uh, Queen of clubs.
Okay, it's
Donk
pretty much
free.
right around the aces and the kings because of our ace king quantity.
Yeah. Yeah. So does he? He's got. Does he have? I think he's got some that he defends. I'm
Does
curious.
he have Jack nine in his
He's got
range?
ace king off a lot. He does not have Jack nine. No.
I'm surprised we don't donk this at all then, because we are gonna defend. Oh, we're probably gonna check raise Queen Jack a lot actually, so we probably wouldn't have it as much. Never mind.
Okay. So I don't think, Melanie, that helped you answer your question about whether he's call here or not, I'm afraid.
No.
Because we got very sidelined. But you still are facing um a large bet and you have an open ender. You're
I do, but I'm still not getting the odds, am I?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand. I mean, you have a made hand, which beats his bluffs.
Only the bluffs.
What is the? I think this is. I'm not.
So
You
is
give
this
your
is this
answer.
Yeah, Brian.
is this a
Good
situation where
restraint.
we would think about how many value combinations he has and how many bluffs, and then like,
Yeah, yeah, I think there's lots of bluffs available on this texture. And
I
he
mean,
is
it's
and he's going to
solvable.
polarize a lot here, right? So if we look another sign, and if you look at his strategy, when he takes this, so he takes a small bet on
But how much of his stick
cutoff
value
of
polarizes?
5, which kind of isn't good for our range, kind of good for his range,
Hmm.
except for our sevens. The question I would have is when we check to him, is he always polar here? And the answer is yeah. His betting strategy is always going to be larger, and it's going to be frequently at B75. So he's taking this betting strategy with the majority of his range. He's doing it with his bluffs. and he's doing it with his thick value. So he's always going to take this when we call. We know he's usually going to take this betting strat.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then one could probably argue for a call. But I mean, in reality, I would fold because
Um,
I can't improve. I mean, I can't. I mean, yes, I have the straight draw, but it would be nice if I had another heart. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
it's a call.
yeah, we're going to call pure here. Um, and I think that your gut instinct that we can overfold here is probably appropriate. I mean, it hates it.
Mm,
It thinks this is a clear call with the eight cards to a straight.
yeah,
But
it assumes the cutoffs polarized play, which I mean, if I sit on a live table, they
Yeah.
don't do polarized
yeah,
stuff.
true. All right.
Live
So
terrible, solver good.
Yes.
yeah,
So I assume you want to check.
yes,
And there you
look at
are.
that. Yeah, there we
Flush
go.
completes. All right. Flush completes, so he checks back. What we let me see. So that was Melanie. Rob, you out there? No, Rob.
Got me?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
he's a
here? Okay.
Oh, you hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah. You're next. I
I'll
just want to see
I'll turn up my volume.
where so he does not have very many checks here. I was curious how many checks he had here. He's checking with the middle of his range. He's checking the top pair. He's checking back. Jacks, he's checking back. This is the best hand at 70% equity. When the flush completes, he does not feel comfortable betting. Kings mix, kings without a spade. Now, if we look, I would imagine if we look at strategy, when we look at jacks, when he's blocking the flush, he wants to bet pure with this hand. King's probably the same thing. Aces, he's checking back aces without the spade. Now, this blocker interaction as to whether we value bet here on, I notice he's all this SPR of 1.3 or whatever. We don't
No,
really have any
it's like
size.
0.7.
Am I misreading it?
Yeah, because the all-in is a 70% bet.
Yeah, you're right. I am. Yeah, you're right. I screwed up. It's a 0.7. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, Rob, you ready?
Yep.
Rob, you have ace king, ace of spades on a monotone texture. What would you like to do?
I'm sorry, who three bet? The cutoff three bet?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
pre-flop, you can see it up here. You
Oh,
raised.
okay. Yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah,
Just catching up. Okay.
sure.
So he three bet that.
No, you
no,
I'll
see
you
check.
three bet. You three bet.
the
Oh,
cutoff
oh,
raised.
I three. Oh, yeah. Okay. I three bet. Okay.
Cutoff raised. You're in the small blind. You three bet.
Okay.
He called, and this is our flop.
All right. Oh, if I three bet, let's do let's do bet 18.
Okay. So that's
I was-
fine. It's not going to have this size. Here are the heuristics around that. It generally it never takes a. I'm going to say never. It never
it's
takes.
always gonna check.
It never takes a big bet on a monotone texture. So in
Right.
many ways, the monotone texture is kind of you either have a flush or you don't.
Right.
And we know that he's got more flushes because we were looking at that a couple minutes ago. So he actually has more flushes his entire range than we do.
All right.
So you might have
Well,
bets, but they're going to be small.
yeah, like the 4.8 or check.
Yeah. Do you want to try that
Checking's
one?
probably the highest ranked, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to check a lot. You want to check?
Yeah, let's check.
Yeah. So we're going to, this is a heuristic to
I
take
got
away.
nothing on betting. Oh man.
This is kind of a, we throw around the word heuristic, but this is a heuristic that is important. On
Right.
on these textures, we really don't have big bets. So check. He checks back. It is a six of hearts, completing more straights, but he doesn't have 7-5. So what would you like to do now? Do you turn the question really comes now, I think that you think about in your head is, do I have a hand that wins at showdown sometimes?
Right.
Do I have the best hand sometimes? Or do I need to turn this hand into a bluff because I very it really comes down to, do I need to turn this hand into a bluff because I very rarely, if ever, win at showdown?
Right.
Or do I win sometimes at showdown?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking between like 125% bet and a check. Is that appropriate?
Um, yeah, I think we saw that before. Yeah, I think we saw that before in this texture. It might be
Yeah,
different
like
because
125 or check, like one or the other, like
yeah.
nothing in between. Um,
And it's also, it's really nice to be blocking the nuts.
it
But
is, it is. I
but
like that.
you might be able to win with these games. So it's a
I
tough
mean, I
spot.
also kind of have a straight flush draw, but I'm not gonna hope for that.
You do have a
Uh,
straight. That's a good point.
yeah, let's go 125. Let's just see. Let's see. I'm between that and check.
So
Oh my God.
it
All right.
likes to. No, man, we're all learning it together. No worries. It likes to check here, I think, because it's
I
got
s-
showdown.
yeah, I see.
Like
Yeah, that
it
makes total
thinks.
sense.
Now I think your betting size is right. No, it doesn't. For whatever reason, it doesn't like to use big bets here. It likes to mostly check. I would assume that's because there's straights available a little bit more here, maybe. I'm not really sure, frankly, why it doesn't like to use big bets here.
I would have really thought it would gone like one
But
or the other.
it mostly
But
likes to check. Notice how much it's checking its overpairs too.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And we can kind of figure it out by doing some nerdy stuff. Well, we don't have a clear range advantage here, and
No, no, no. I guess that's why it's checking. Yeah.
we're the small blind, right?
Yeah.
We're the yellow line. We have a
Yeah,
range
we are.
disadvantage. You can look at this at pure equity. We're behind if we look like range versus range.
Yeah.
And so we're checking so much because we also have to protect the rest of our hands that want to get to showdown. So we're
Yeah.
checking aces, ace, king, kings, queens. So let's change this to check.
Yeah. I
Bang.
have my
Spade one
sense.
time. He bets. Now it gets interesting. What would you like to do to his bet?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna
Do you think
call.
you have any check raises here?
No, 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 not since what we just looked at with all those checks. I don't see.
I
Yeah,
think you might have check
I,
raises here, and this is my argument
yeah.
as to why. You're drawing to the nuts two ways. You used the small sizing, and you're blocking the nuts.
So why do I have check raises, but I had no raises at all to donk? Well, to
Well,
well,
good question. So, do we benefit from folding out a lot of his hands that beat us now that he can't call a check raise with?
are we gonna fold it? I don't know. That's why I don't want to get in that position. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
I'd be
that's
lost.
fine. You don't have to. I mean, you get to play this hand.
To be honest.
It's your hand to play any way you want. We
Yeah.
will call, but I would argue that you might want to think about spots like I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe we don't have check raises with this hand. I could be taking
But
you
I'm just
down.
asking, like, why would we have check raises and not have a donk like on the turn? Like,
You did have small donks.
okay.
Well,
I'm
let's
not
look at
saying you're
the.
wrong. I'm like here, like I just really like I want to know why that
Yeah,
might
that's
be the
what
case. Like I feel
I'm
like
trying
I'm
to figure
missing
that out.
something.
I don't think
I would.
we do have donks with this card.
I think it's going to make a difference. I think what's going to be different here is that I think this is going to be like a split spot between you're going to have some check raises because sometimes your hand has showdown and sometimes you're going to play this hand like a draw. So you have two options here, and when he bets small, you have less showdown because he's less polar. So I would say that he is, so you now can check raise more to fold out his pocket fives and stuff like that. Oh, actually, no, you can't. You're not folding them out. I don't know.
So,
That's if that makes any sense in my
so
head.
you
That
want to incorporate check raises into your game. Check raises are a very powerful tool. Not
Oh
only,
yeah,
and
no,
they're
I
very
totally get
powerful.
that. Just in this situation,
They're very powerful because they
I'm
fold
missing
out
it.
because people don't think that they ever are bluffs. Actually,
actually,
this is the least bluffed spot in poker here. Turn check
Yeah,
raise.
actually,
right, right.
can
So,
you to
so
figure it
it
out? Could
makes,
you look at his range?
well, hold on. Let me just finish my point here. So you want to stick some bluffs in here. Our bluffs are pretty, we're not bluffing ace, we are bluffing ace king a little bit, but not with the ace of spades. But it's so, the ace king has got so much showdown that we don't want to do it. We're check raising the nuts a lot here.
Okay.
The nuts in the straight draw, redraw.
And
But
those nuts would have checked um
those
instead
nuts,
of
obviously in this line, those nuts check. We
raising
trap check nuts. Yeah, we trap check the nuts here.
out of okay. So
And he
so
bets. Now the question,
that seems like that's the answer, right? Like if I donk into him, I'm not showing as much power as if I check raise. So that puts me into a higher range than I would be if I just like led into him.
yeah, I
Correct?
mean, I mean, leading into dunking here on turn is a strat that it uses a lot. It uses it 12% of the time. But, and it's fine. And other people use the dunk a lot more. And it's obviously not dunking just with its nuts. It's dunking a lot with its flushes here, but
Yeah,
it also
I'm
gets
just
to
trying to
incorporate
find
a
an
lot of bluffs.
equilibrium between when
They
to
kind
check
of, they
bet and
kind
when
of
to just
serve the same purpose,
bet.
right? I mean, you're
Right,
putting,
right. But it seems like one shows a lot more power by check
I
raise
think a check raise
than
is a lot more effective. And you
than
know what?
just like, oh, I'm gonna see what like I'm feeling this out.
Yeah, check
Kind of
raises are
thing.
fun.
Right.
Look, can we
So
look at the sizes the cutoff uses, and that might tell us why we would find some check raises if it has a big size. So it has,
it just uses small sizing on the monotone board, on the
huh,
monotone flop.
That really throws me off the small sizes.
that's what's weird. Because I think if he had a big size and a small size, I think
Yeah.
that it
Well, I
would
mean,
make more
so I think
sense.
we have small sizes here because it's again, it's a toy game a little bit. I mean, it's really, do you have a flush or don't you have a flush? And so if he has a flush, he doesn't want your fold. So he's going to protect that sizing with mixing in his bluffs with that size. What the solver is not going to have one size for bluffs and one size for value.
I
It
guess
is
that's
going
what's
to
throwing me
integrate
off
both
is
into
if
the same.
I guess that's what's throwing me off is if I'm checking the turn and then like the solver seems to think like he has a really good chance of having a flush and then he raises that and then I go ahead and check raise it in the hopes that, my ace, I get four.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes you're going to bluff into the nuts. That's part of the fun. I mean,
okay.
the perfect example here is King Queen, right? So King Queen off here has a very clear strategy. Its strategy is I fold when I don't have a spade, but my hand is too weak to call if I have the king or queen of spades.
Okay.
So I'm going to check raise. So it primarily check raises with this combo. King King of spades, queen is the most interesting one. It has a lot of interesting qualities. It's blocking the nuts, it's drawing to the second nuts, and it really loves folding out stuff. So let's say we use this line. So it uses like, let's say it uses a 23 sometimes here. Like king queen, which one is, it uses this big size a lot. Let's see why we check raise this. We bet big. What's he folding? Well, he's folding almost half his range. So he's folding a lot of cards better than us. He's folding any ace high
Hmm.
that we lose to. That's the big thing to focus on. When we use this big aggressive 3-bet bluff with king, queen, king of spades, he's folding out ace highs, which are ahead of
He's
us now.
folding pairs. Pocket
And yeah, hey,
nines.
Beelzebub, he's
Hello.
folding pairs. He's folding nines, folding eights. So it's a very powerful tool. So that's why we want to use it. All right. So, but we can call. Calling is fine. We're not folding. Do you want to call?
Yeah, let's see what happens if I call. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, let's call.
Is he? What was his? He bets a lot here, right? Whenever he's checked two twice.
He does. Yes.
So I would think that would make us call a lot more than check raise.
Well, we had lots of check races in our
Yeah,
strategy. I
Oh,
assume you
there
want to.
were how much was there? It went by just in the last.
it had.
How many check races? What
Oh,
percentage of our
no,
range?
no, on the board when we were looking at the board. I'm sorry. When
Like
when
on
we
the
called, it said call was like something percent, like 80%, 84%.
we'll look. We can go back and look after.
Okay.
it was the majority, but yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Um,
let's check this out. Yeah, because I'm kind of lost at this point with this.
do you want to hear a
Okay.
call?
I
You're blocking the nuts, man.
29.
Very
That's
interesting.
yeah,
Because he doesn't have. Oh no, you're not blocking the nut. Well, 6-5 suited is nuts, but
yeah.
6-5 spades is nuts.
I'm gonna fold. I don't know if it's right, but I'm gonna fold.
Likes to hear.
Oh, holy shit! Wow, that is really interesting.
Likes to hear. What's the best hand? We
In
kind of gave
solver
him.
land.
We kind of gave
Wow.
him the license to bluff, didn't we? Because we went check, call. We kind of sometimes get to. Now, I would not use this in a lot of games that we play, but you can understand why it's doing this. It's blocking the nuts, and we gave them license.
I mean, your instinct to check raise the turn, like won this hand and I lost this hand. Like clearly, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really
Well,
something to
that's why
think
you're
about.
paying me so
Thank
much
you.
to coach you. Just kidding. Uh, well, I just felt like it was a spot where we could have some check raises.
Yeah, yeah, and I wasn't seeing it, and that's why I kept asking, and I was like, I'm missing something, but holy crap, now I see it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it's definitely in there. I mean, I hope that's why you come to these groups, right? Think about these hands
Yeah, for sure,
a little bit
yeah.
more. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's humbling, but I love it.
once you work in once you work in solver, one thing I think that comes out of it a lot is that you do um end up with a lot more check raises, which is really healthy for your game.
Right, right.
It's really healthy because it's finding check raise bluffs, especially on flop, is very healthy against a lot of people who just rhythmically see bet. It's
Right.
very profitable. Um, but it's what you do on turn when they call. That's a different conversation. Um, all right.
What
Derek,
would you
you're
do
here
on the river if he called? What would you do?
on the river. If what?
If he called your check raise on the turn on the river, what would you want to do when we miss everything?
Against the human or against the solver?
Both.
Now you've asked me a tough question.
I think against a human, I'm probably gonna shut it down because what are they calling me with? But against solver, I'm trying to think of like what does the
Okay,
solver
so
call?
I think with the ace of spades blocker, we have bluffs probably around pot or over pot.
Hmm. Against solver.
Yeah. Uh, eight hearts. Yeah. If we've got the eight, yeah, we're mixing.
Okay,
We
so
do.
now a human calls you on the
I
turn.
am shutting. I'm shutting down.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what they're calling with. I'm gonna get to
They're
fold
calling
by
with
the
all their
river.
spade draws. You're getting
Yeah,
you're getting value from their spade draws.
but you're ahead of
So
all their spade draws, so you don't need to bluff
I
that.
would shut down more against the human than I would against the solver. So because solver's defending against the check raise more. But we
I was
are
just,
like these are our
is there
bluffs.
is there a portion of their range that we can that beats us that we can get to fold against a human? And I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of
sure. Yeah.
well, what's
So
what?
like if you so what's our SPR here? So our SPR is like over it's like 1.2. 1 point, yeah, about 1.3, whatever. No, it's 1.5. So if we overbet shove, well, let's work it out this way. So we have all in, all in bluff. What are they folding? Well, I think yeah, humans are going to fold. They're even supposed to fold a river set here sometimes,
I would say that they're not folding that.
but they're folding nines, jacks,
They
and ten.
probably fold nines, jacks, tens.
They're folding
I
this region.
okay.
Uh,
Um,
they might fold.
See, I actually am starting to think that against a human that you can continue a lot. You can jam a ton of rivers now that I think about it. Because what how like you have basically one brick wall that you run into and everything you can probably make everything else fold because except for like a rivered set. So like you have because they're probably betting all their overpairs on the flop, right?
Yeah.
So if they're betting all that on the flop, we remove a ton of that. Then on the turn, when they call, we think they have a lot of spades, and then what else? They have single pairs that they come out and bet. Like maybe they turn a six and they come and bet it and say they call you with that. Now the eight comes on the river. You can probably, I mean, you can blast them off of. I'm trying to think like a straight. Is
Yeah,
a
I mean,
straight
your
calling?
question comes down to like, so we're getting a lot of solves here. Like, I'm sorry, a lot of folds. So we shove here, they're folding more than half their range. So your question comes down to, do humans fold this much or more?
Think more.
Live, I think they probably fold more.
I also think we get to eliminate a lot of the strong hands from their range when they check the flop
Yeah,
because.
but we got to think here also, Brian. Oh, when we chose to check raise turn, we also eliminated a lot of hands. Once they check raise call turn, they're filtered
But
too, right? I mean,
do we think, but
they've got
if we,
something.
yeah, but if we check raise when they have something, but when we check raise there, I think they're still going to continue. They're probably going to have some fives, right? And it's some fives for a straight, and then they're going to have
Yeah.
do their sixes call the check raise is the question. Probably not. So they have a lot of straights, and then they have flush draw. So I guess the only thing we're targeting then is to get them to fold a straight on the river.
Well, straight and over pairs.
Well, I'm just saying if we remove a decent amount of that because they're unlikely to check a lot
Oh,
of that
because you're
stuff on the
saying they don't
flop.
have a lot of, they're not
Yeah,
protecting their checking range. Okay, I see your point.
that's where my thing comes from is that I think they have less strong hands than the solver does because on the flop they're not checking as many of these strong hands.
Yeah, I see your point. I see
So
your
we
point.
have so when they come out and bet small in the turn, we expect them to fold a lot when we check raise, and then when they call, what do they continue with that we can make fold? And I would say it's a lot of straights, probably, and then they can have some two pairs, and I think we can make two pairs fold as well.
Josh, where
So
are you? We need, we want some node locking. We need our node lock fix. Yeah, I think you got a good point. I mean, I think their range is weaker getting a turn because they
yeah,
did not protect their checking range. Yes. But I think the counter to that, which I mentioned before,
it did call a check raise.
is that now that they've called a check raise, and they're pretty strong, not pretty strong, but they got. And so then, what are we trying? What are we targeting when we double barrel with our nut blocker?
We can
Well,
it's
we're target. I don't think they're fold flushes, but I think they're going to fold. It's gonna fold these over pairs.
Yeah, and I think that we can actually give some. The question, yeah, it's whether we can get sets and two pairs to fold as well, because I think they have some sets and two pairs that will continue on that turn because they can boat up and because you're only telling them once.
Yeah, I mean you've put their sets in hell, right? And we know that
Yeah.
in
Yes.
theory their sets are exactly what you wanted to do, which is you made them indifferent.
Yeah. Yeah, the question I guess comes down to is whether they call more, whether they call with a set or not.
What is
Because
most
if,
interesting here, in theory, you're still talking about humans, but I'm going to talk about theory here. In theory, because we've essentially polarized, we're flush or nothing.
Mhm.
All their hero calls below a flush are worth the same equity. Jacks are worth the same as a straight.
Yeah, I mean, this is,
Cut off small blind. Notice how now their range is essentially this region that you're trying to fold out.
yeah,
And
that's
it's all worth
that's,
the same. It's all eights, straights. It's all worth the same. Uh, these are worth a little bit more because they're a little bit higher. But you get this weird flat line all of a sudden when you polarized. Because you're like saying you got up here, and all these are now bluff catchers,
yeah, I guess against a
and they're
calling
all
station,
worth in
I'm not
theory
gonna
the
run that.
same. Say it
Yeah,
again.
I guess against it, that would be a player dependent bluff. I think if I was playing against a player
Certainly
that
would
I
be.
know is monsters under the bed player, then I think I'd be very comfortable running this bluff because
Yeah,
if
you're
they're
definitely
gonna,
gonna have players that are gonna fold everything that's not a flush.
yeah, because and then I think that they just don't have a lot of the strong hands that Solver has here.
And that's
So
why this, I would argue against that player. That's why the ace blocker flush, the ace spade blocker check raise bluff line here is powerful because at
yeah,
least once you can eliminate the nuts against a
player that's only
overfolding
calling
player,
with the
you're in a
nuts.
lot better space. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
interesting.
All right. Derek, you want to take one?
Sure.
All right. So Derek, what we're doing here is that we are the three better. So this line is cutoff raises. You are the three better in the small blind. Cutoff calls and now on the flop. Good luck, sir. What would you like to do here?
Oh, I hate it. I think that this hits my opponent not bad.
Yeah, this is a check. You want to check?
So I want to play a small pot. I have some showdown equity, so I'm going to try to play a small pot, win a
So we
small
check,
pot.
right?
Yep, we're going to check.
Yeah, we mostly check this here. This we check range, right? We can look here and look what our whole entire range is doing. We're checking on this. We did not hit this.
Yep. We're honestly saying we hit fuck all on this.
And
Well,
then
we said we hit fuck all on the flop, so we were gonna say we hit fuck all on the turn. So we're gonna check this.
and now he has this.
Yep. So I'm checking.
We're gonna check again.
Yep.
And this is interesting. You now have top pair.
Well,
Pretty
this is exactly what we wanted to maneuver to. So we're gonna try to take some value out of this. So we're gonna bet. Now, I know that they say that you should never bet less than half pot, but I let bet less than half pot here.
okay.
So,
It only says that out of position. I'm
hmm?
sorry, in position. That rule kind of only applies in position. It does not apply out of position.
Anyway,
Well, you're in there. You get the size. He
yep.
folds. He folds jacks.
Mm.
Okay. Next player is back to Melanie. And so we've been going for an hour and a half. Let's go through a couple more and then we'll switch over to Mike. And Mike can do his magic. But Melanie, would you like to take one?
Yes.
Well, that looks familiar. This is a very interesting texture.
Um,
Go back to our work in the ag report.
I think this is going to be a lead. Like,
We'll call it a
we
C bet, but yeah,
yeah, sure. Sorry, C
it's
bet.
all right.
How much though? I suppose we could do 33%.
It's in there.
Oh,
But
little bit.
notice
Oh,
you're
check.
even though you missed this board, you're betting a lot, and we can see it here. Even though we're out of position, we're betting over half the time. Oh, yeah, over half the time. So it's in there. He now calls you. You've got a very much a blank two. Although our range did not improve. Try hard for his range, except for his pairs to improve. What would you like to do?
I mean, the cutoff is now probably he probably either has a marginal made hand, which means if I bet again, they're just going to call again. And I haven't really improved, so that's a problem. But I guess that the solver would keep continuing to bet either way.
Well, you have an interesting hand on an interesting texture. I think I don't know, frankly, but I think that this probably does lean towards a polarizing size sometimes. Do you want to take a polarizing size?
Well, yeah, if we bet, then we have to bet large enough to get him off a marginal made hand. So that would mean either 75 or even 125.
Which one would you like?
Hmm.
Your
I don't know. I
SPR is
always
important
like,
here.
yeah,
Your SPR is 2.
40, 80, which means we could do, well, no, actually 75% still makes sense, no?
Yeah, we'll go to
They'll get
75.
the rest in on the river, technically speaking.
So it likes 75's in there. It likes a B50, I think, because the SPR is 2. I think. Ah, now you've got an SPR 0.5. The straight has completed. He has Queen Jack, and you are blocking Queen Jack, and you have top pair.
Yeah, blockers, blockers. What to do about this? I don't like, or maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm always too stingy with my chips, but I always think if I now go all in, I only get called by the Queen Jack. Queen Jack, what else? Two pair is going to call.
Well, let's go back to basics here. Let's class your hand. What is your hand? Is it marginal made? Is it made or is it trash?
It's made, but it's not particularly great.
So you win at showdown.
Sometimes.
So how does that affect your decision?
Usually it would mean that I would just check, but then I know that if I check and he bets, I'm in big trouble and I will have another difficult decision. And maybe
Well,
this is wrong. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're not we can't avoid the difficult decisions. So that's like
Well,
we don't
I'm a
make it.
beginner, so I'm trying to always
uh,
avoid them.
So
I know what you mean.
yeah. So uh, yeah. What do you think?
I mean, if I would be playing this for real, I would probably do like a little block bet and try to get away with it. If he calls me down and he shows something better, okay, I lost the minimum. But if he goes over that and he shoves all in, then I will have to probably fold. So that is what I would do in reality. But if you say, okay, we have showdown value, maybe we can get away with a check, maybe they check behind, then, and that is also probable given what the cutoff has been doing so far, um, then we could also get away with a check. So I think I lean between bet small and check. I'm probably not putting him all in. Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Interesting.
Yeah, because we have a marginal hand on a scary board, where there's lots of straights available. So, and we also see that's what we wanted. So the point, I guess, is this: if you bet here, he's never calling with a 10 anyway.
Yeah.
When you check here, yeah, sometimes it's going to be really unpleasant. You have to make a tough decision, but you've already he's already filtered, right? Because you bet small, you bet large. Now you've got showdown, good pair. You, yeah, we just check, and if he puts us in hell, he puts us in hell. We just got to accept it. Or we play a
Accept
game
it
with
and
full
fold.
information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go through anybody who hasn't gone yet. We'll go, and then we'll switch to Mike if that's okay with Mike. So Bozer, Bub, and Dean. And Rodney, did you have a hand?
No, not yet, but that's fine.
Okay,
We
we'll
can
do.
we can go on to Mike. I'm good.
Oh, and also you got a hand. Well, you got a hand to show us. So why don't we look at
Yes.
your hand before we go to Mike? Because you have a hand you'd like us to look at, right?
Yes. Just
Okay, we'll
one.
do that. So, hey, Smarty Pants Dean,
Okay,
you wanna you wanna take one?
sure.
You got Ace King, Ace Jack, 10-4. What would you like to do?
Bet small, like 20%.
Yeah, I think a lot of bet small here. Sand. He calls you. That's kind of bricky. What would you like to do?
I just usually my default's like 50%, but yeah. Oh, just
It
check.
likes to check on this for some reason. I am surprised. Maybe because the
Mm,
straight's completed?
Yeah, I think they defend their ace jack and ace 10 suited a lot. So I think that's where that comes
Ah, you're
in.
right. Yeah. Yeah. But we're not breaking the solver, so we'll give you this size. Uh-oh. Our SPR is 1.
just snapped. Hmm.
He snapped, yeah.
I personally want to go all in, but probably want to check.
It's
That's
either
small.
blocking or checking. And that is one of the hands we could have gotten value from, but yeah, I think you played that well. So that leaves us with Bozabub.
Right.
Bozabub, our requisite tournament
Closer.
player. Would you like to take a hand?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. This hand is interesting. You have Jacks on Ace 4-2. What does your
Okay.
range want to do? And what do you want to do?
So on this board, I would guess we are betting a lot. Would be surprised if not. And hands like pocket kings, pocket queens would like to check the most. Pocket jacks might be in between there sometimes. So I guess we can check, we can bet. And for sizing, yeah, That is where I struggle because I never have so many chips. I would go for 33%.
Yeah,
Maybe 20 is good.
I think you're gonna check this, but maybe we bet. We could do either. He calls you
Which is fine.
another straight completes. What would you like to do now?
So he will still have pocket pairs where we could get value from, but he will also have some ace X. I don't think he will have a straight Z often, so I wouldn't be that worried. Mm, and he can still have hands with backdoor flush draws. So we don't block any flush draws. We have showdown. I don't think we can go for 3 streets of value. I would just check here.
Yeah, this is a check. You got a marginal hand. Pure check. It's important to understand what you're doing here. So important for everybody to see. So when we see bet flop small, he calls all our under pairs. Check here. Under pairs and the nuts. Well, it's not the nuts, it's just straight. Under pairs in our top set. Check. He now puts in a massive bet.
Oh, that's very polarized.
It is very polar.
I mean, I would guess he could do this with pocket fives. The first hand that comes to mind, ace five. Yeah, I feel like I cannot defend here. I'm
I
just
think we're
folding.
gonna call here sometimes, in theory, without the spade, and we like fold with the spade.
Yeah, would make sense, but I'm still folding.
No, I'm wrong. We fold. We're out. We are defending kings and queens,
BF ace X.
but not jacks. And we don't really care if we have the spade. Well, here we do. Here, the blocker heuristic matters with the king of spades, which makes sense because there's going to be more bluffs probably with the turn nut flush draw. So we care a little bit more about having the king of spades here.
But what hands does he actually go the sizing?
Well, let's find out.
Because
I
okay,
bluff.
that's okay. Yes.
So let's look at what. So he's using a B75. So his B75's here. So when we check here, and you look where he's using the B75. He's using it, he's the biggest sizing he's using. And so he's gonna mix his nuts and his bluffs. He doesn't do it much with this combo, but he does it some. He's using it a lot with his best ace X. He's using it with his two pair. He's using it with straights. Actually, with straights, he's not because he wants you to call. He's using it with his sets, two pair, a little bit top pair, and then he's using it with his bluffs here. These are his bluffs. We ran into one of his few bluffs he has for this sizing, which is around queen 10, jack 10, queen 10, which I would assume he has some kind of interaction with your range. I mean, I think he might have these block bluffs, but whatever. What's his most common? Yeah, he's using it a lot with like trash, but then he's also using it pure with sets and stuff. All right, I think we have one. Is that everyone is gone? And then Rodney's going to show us a hand. Anybody out there who has not gone who wants to go? I think that's it. I think my presentation is over, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my solver talk. Rodney, show us a hand, and then we'll switch to Mike to show us lots of hands so what you can. I am going to stop sharing.
Let's see if I can get this up here. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So ace king suited, low jack position. Guess everybody can agree that we're gonna open that up, right?
Yeah.
And everybody folds around, big blind calls. And then we get this. Big blind checks. I open, or I bet three. And then I get this. Now keep in mind, I guess one thing about this player is there's no stats on this player. This is probably only about the sixth or seventh hand in this session with this player, but he's been in probably 4 to 5 hands that I've seen since I've sat down, and he's played really aggressive in everything, but I haven't seen a showdown with him at all. Everybody has folded to him.
Okay.
So
Go
I
back
have,
to the or go back to the where we see the flop with no bets yet. Okay, so the pot is 5.5, I think.
Yeah, he opened to 2.5.
yeah,
Yep. Okay, and then go ahead to the flop. Yeah, so 5.5, and then you see bet kind of on the large side, at
mhm.
least just relative to the pot size, and which I think you can argue that this flop doesn't really necessitate a larger bet size here unless you're trying to exploit something. This would probably, you could even check behind here in theory, like if you were to look at this in theory, but the larger size, and then he check raises. I think I would not fold yet because we have the spade backdoors. But if I had ace king off here with no other backdoors, I might consider folding to like a lot of people. Not that I would here. I'm just saying it would cross my mind based on the strength that he's showing because of your large bet sizes. And this is a tight configuration. This is low jack versus big blind. It's not like it's button big blind where it's pretty loose. But anyway, in this spot right now, I would just call.
And I do.
Anybody else have any thoughts on that
Yeah,
flop?
Yeah,
I think you pointed out the most important thing is that we have some backdoor equity here around straights and flushes. It's not much, but I think it allows us to continue here. And
so
also, it sounds like you're saying he was being very aggressive,
Yes.
so that also leans us towards call. Although I think that your antenna should be up because generally this is an underbluff spot. But you can see where his bluffs come from, right? You can see that he's got lots of clubs that can do this. He's got lots of straight draws that can do this. So
Yeah.
I think your call is good. Let's see what he does. Let's hope for a good turn. You're a blank turn. Okay, and what does he do?
Oof.
So
oh,
he overbet like 150 here.
why do you
I would tell
call
you,
this an overbet?
I would be ditching it right now unless you like really have just a solid read that he's like just a complete buffoon of some kind.
Yeah, I just fold here. We've got one pair, draw two, like unless I thought that my straight out is good, which I don't know about that. Like I'm dumping here. I'm dumping here quickly. Like it's boom, fold. I pretend to think about it, but I'm dumping here.
Yeah. I think one problem is if we call, and let's give him a random hand like Queen 9. He will still have a lot of outs against us.
Yeah.
So
So one way to look at this hand is like, let's go back to first principles here. You have a pair, but aggression has his aggression is telling you that he has a set of nines, set of tens, 10-9, king 9. He's got two pair plus. So classify your hand. Is your hand a bluff catcher or a value beater?
Well, I think of the rule of If you get to the turn and someone's showing consistent aggression, your one pair is no good. Top pair, top kicker is no good. If
Yeah.
someone
So
shows consistent aggression on up to the, like I play that way and I know that it's exploitable, but I don't give a care if it's exploitable
Yeah,
because
and let's put it another way. It's not good enough of the time. Like
yeah,
this player could potentially have king queen, right? I mean, he could maybe have king queen and he thinks he's value betting it because he's a little bit of a nutcase. But I don't think the odds you're getting presented here are good enough.
Okay.
yeah. I'm dumping this like this like I have this rule: top pair, top kicker on the turn. If the opponent shows consistent aggression at 1-2-2-5, then just fold it.
yeah,
Look
consistent
at
aggression is important relative.
look.
I would say the important thing to think about, Rodney, is that you need classify your hand here. Is your hand beating his value, or is your hand bluff catching pure?
Bluff catching pure.
I was asking Rodney.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He's
My
our
bad.
That's
he's
all right.
our
I
student
agree.
today.
I agree with Bub. Yeah, bluff catcher.
Okay, so you now have classified your hand. It is a bluff catcher.
Looking at it now in real time, I still was thinking, that I had some value with top pair and top kicker.
Yeah, so that's the way to think about
Just
this.
because I
First thing to
was
think
also
about is
thinking about the way that I had seen him play previous hands with
he
aggression.
has now. So Rodney, the way I would think about this next time is your hand is degraded. Your hand is demoted. It is now a bluff catcher. And now this once you understand that you have a bluff catcher, then you have to decide is this an is this player, whoever it is, under bluffing, over bluffing or under bluffing? And then your answer becomes against pool, this is under bluffed, and we can fold. Everybody's right, Derek's right, Mike's right. Against a special player, you can bluff catch, but understand your hand now is demoted to a bluff catcher. That's, I think, the thing to
Okay.
take away from this is that when you face this kind of aggression from the majority of players, you can now reclassify your hand as a bluff catcher. And once you reclassify your hand as a bluff catcher, then you can begin to make decisions around is this player capable of bluffing at a high enough frequency that my bluff catcher is of value.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think
But here, I think everybody's right. I think you fold.
Well,
I think
do
in a
the thing of this is population under double barrel. They under check raise and under double barrel, and when they use large sizes, they generally have it. And then I know you could be like, well, I've seen him be very aggressive, but you haven't seen a showdown yet. I mean, he could have sat
True.
down and gotten very strong hands and just crushed it. I mean, I've done way too much calling off of people's bets because I'm like, oh, he's being super aggressive. This guy's just trying to bluff all the time. When in actuality, they sat down and got dealt five heaters, and that's the way it works sometimes. So it's like
Yeah.
Scotty always says is don't pay for information when somebody else will. So I would say stick with population until somebody else pays and shows that this guy is very capable of just blasting off with nothing.
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. Like as soon as I see someone overvalue top pair, top kicker, I turn my gears to get all to play
Yes.
hands with that player and get all his money before it goes. Because if as soon as you see someone who overvalues top pair, top kicker to aggression, you know you want to get into hands with that guy because all his money's going to be gone in the next 3 hours. Like no one who overvalues top pair, top kicker can survive, even at 1-2. So as soon as you
Okay.
see someone overvalue top pair, top kicker, put a huge mental note and to get into hands with this guy because all his money's going to be gone in 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, just do the
100%.
population, just play population until someone proves that they are not a part of the population, that they are a different player. And then you
Yeah.
can adjust to them being a different player and saying, okay, now I need to bluff catch more because this guy's capable or this guy overvalues or whatever it is. So I would just throw this away and wait for somebody else to give you that info to pay for you to get that information.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All right, so I think you called here, which is fine. You call,
I do.
and our river is the queen. Okay, and our opponent shoves, I would assume, and we're
Yep.
and the most important thing is his bluff. All his bluff, not all, but a lot of his bluffs just got there. So it is. It appears to me, if I'm reading the board correctly, we have one card to a straight.
Yep. Jack makes a straight. Jack 10 got
Mhm.
there. King Jack got there. Oh, the Queen Nine's now two pair, which who knows if he actually continues with Queen Nine. Queen Ten's two pair. Yeah, everything basically
So
gets there.
even a solver's going to fall here because a lot of the bluffs that he had are now a completed straight. So we just fold.
He
And I did not.
Okay. And
might show you ace 10 of clubs or something like that,
yeah, he
and
might have a bluff.
you might win, but
Three
it's
deuce of
still
clubs.
Jack 8 got there with the
There's the
straight.
jack. Yeah.
So now in the future, you would know that this guy, even though you lost this one, that you are gonna, this guy's capable of playing his draws very aggressively on a draw heavy board like this. You can bluff catch much wider.
Yeah, I mean he
Gotcha.
took I mean there's one indicator against this player class is that his overbet on turn, right? His overbet on turn was it
Hey.
doesn't really look like I want to call. It looks a lot like I want you to fold. But his line makes sense. He's got mm, he's got a wrap on flop. He does not improve, but he's still got the wrap on turn. He uses a massive sizing to try to generate a fold. You are saying, no, thank you. I got a bluff catcher. I think you're bluffing. And then he got you. So it makes sense. But the most, I think your turn call, we all would have folded, but turn call is defensible in um solver mode, right? Because you've got a very good bluff catcher. But solver's going to fold on river because his bluff got there.
Gotcha. Well, I wish it had turned out differently, but it is what it is. So,
Well, it's a very good learning hat. I appreciate you bringing it to us.
all right.
I,
That's
but so just think about next time once he polarizes on turn, think about what
mm-hmm.
your hand is. Your hand is a pure bluff catcher.
Yep.
So, all
Gotcha.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I fold on the turn, but it turns out in this case you could have called the turn if you knew what he had, but
Yeah, you can overfold. It's an underbluff spot.
yeah. I always fold these on the turn. I know that's exploitable, but I think that's good against population.
I think you're
What's your
right.
what's your what's your population like? My population barely knows how to breathe.
Rod, he's playing, Rodney, you play like,
I'm online.
what do you play? Like 10 cent, 20 cent, or 5 cent, 10 cent?
Yeah, this was 10 NL. Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
10.
generally, I mean, that's what's there. You're gonna have you're gonna have a decent amount of players that are just freakishly aggressive because it's a $10 game, so they don't really care. But a lot of them aren't gonna play that. I mean, if you're playing live 1-2, I would have folded the turn there. But you know, it's a different game. Most of the players are gonna play similar to 1-2 live, but you're gonna have those people that just come on and blast off for an hour.
Hmm.
okay. So these are hands, recent hands that are marked. We'll go down the list if anybody wants to play as hero. And yeah, so just a little background. This is online NL 100 on an anonymous site. So every player is basically unknown when we start a session. Um, and I'll just go down the list, starting with Larry is the top of the list since he is the host. Larry, you want to take this first one here?
Sure.
You get a button raise.
This is a 3-bet pure. I would 3-bet to 11 to 12 big blinds. And he 4-bets you. So this hand, I think, in theory, becomes a 4-bet shove or fold. I don't think we get to defend this. I think we either shove or fold.
I think you're right. I think you're right if we looked at it. What would you do?
I am going to overfold. What do we know about this guy? Nothing, right?
Nothing.
I am going to overfold.
So, so this is online, right, Mike?
Yes.
And what
Yes.
stakes is this?
100 NL.
And the rake is
The rake is 5% with two big blind cap, or something like that.
and no flop, no drop.
No flop, no drop.
Okay. Okay. Just getting my wheel set. Sorry.
Yeah. And yeah, and Larry, yeah, this is I believe you're right. You're not gonna ever call this here. It's a shove or fold.
Why would you even think about like that's not even on the table, right?
Calling?
Yeah, yeah, that's inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Yes,
I mean, I don't
absolutely.
think it's terrible.
Inconceivable.
I think some poker cooking charts do have a call here in this configuration, but
I don't think it's going to have it when you're out of position.
5%
I've
no flop, no drop. Let's do the
It
yeah.
could. I don't know. I think out of position it won't have it would very rarely have a call.
So okay, let's see what we went into.
So this brought up
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd
well,
say
okay, so here's the thing. This has kind of brought up something though. Like let's say if he shows us King Jack, like I say if we somehow knew he had King Jack off here, which at 100 NL, this is going to be pretty common. This is not uncommon at all right here.
Mhm.
yeah.
To get 4-bet with a hand like this, button versus small blind or button versus big blind. But like like we know we are going to have like a little better range than the button here. And by jamming, he gets to fold stuff like this. Is that a good thing?
Oh, we're
Uh,
tap dancing to that, right?
I mean, I think it's good. You pay no rake, you collect a pot here, and he still has, I mean, you're ahead, but you're still out of position on the flop
Yeah.
when you are playing. I
Like
mean, if you
it
knew exactly his cards, it's like, yeah, obviously you're maybe you want to call here, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't what how well you don't know his cards is the main thing. And then when you go
Hmm.
to the flop, you're sitting here. When you miss the flop, you get to deal with an in-position player that gets to decide how the action works.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
You're
there is definitely some utility of denying the equity that he has on cards that we don't dominate.
Right.
Yeah. And that's always kind of been my argument. And I remember having a discussion a while back about we should call sometimes here because we have hands that dominate his 4-bet range, but we can't realize that very often when we're out of position and that sort of thing. Anyway, it brought that up, and I just remember thinking, should we ever just call with ace queen here?
Okay, he's only
I
got
looked at the
75 back, right? Like he's only got 75 back, so there's no way.
solver has
Like,
calls there in that configuration with ace queen off.
yeah, yeah.
It mostly shoves, but it does have some calls with that hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it pretty small percentage? Like,
So this is NL 50 rake, which is essentially the same as NL 100. It's calling 33% of the time. It's shoving the
Oh,
rest.
that's more than I would have thought.
33 is way
I,
more.
I'm shoving 100% against someone that I don't know with ace queen off. I mean, it's the perfect tool for the job, unless you have reason otherwise, right?
Yeah. I
Like
mean it's
against my pool.
I mean it's unique to the
it plays like
configuration. And
shit out of position. So
it's because it's button versus small blind. That's why.
yeah, but it plays like shit out of position. So and
It
with
does,
the
but it's
rate
doing
consideration,
it
uh,
does. You're right, but it's hard to play. But solver doesn't
yeah,
care. I doesn't care how hard it is to play. But just then, I think it's fine just popping it into your 4-bet bluff range. I mean, 5-bet shove range.
yeah.
Rodney is up next on the list.
Okay.
Rodney, you got a limp, and it's on you in the cutoff.
This will open here at 4.5.
Okay, good.
I like
Four.
the size.
And you get a call. Checks to you.
Position this board. Probably bet small. 2.5, 3.
Okay. Yeah, we get to B33 here. You get called.
Again, I like the bet size.
Hmm. Did he check
He
there?
checked.
Checked
Yep.
again? Okay, then think here. I think we're probably good to check back.
I do check, and we face a less than half pot bet. About 40% or so.
So I think we probably just call here.
Does anybody ever want to fold here?
It's really awkward, and this is very much a milky size, but given the pot odds, it's hard not to just call.
Over bluff, under bluff. That's the question.
I under bluff at 6 because he's saying I got an ace. Give me six more
Um,
dollars, right?
Yeah, also, so it's actually hard to find too many bluffs. What can you have at 10-9, 10-8,
Yeah, yeah,
8-9? And then these are basically the draws I could see directly. King Queen doesn't really have to bluff here. It has a little bit of showdown.
But would he really limp with an ace?
Why not? I mean, people do this with suited aces like ace 4 suited, ace 5 suited, ace 6 suited.
yeah. I'd agree. There's lots of people limping in.
yes, that's
Probably
a
the
good.
most limped hands contain aces that are offsuit.
Yes.
Do
Yeah, I
most of
agree
Um,
with
it.
that.
so, but going back to the flop, I mean, he won't have that. I mean, some people can fold an ace on the flop, right?
Yep. You bet a small size, so he said, I'm gonna keep my ace. He gets his ace, so he checks, wanting to check raise. You don't bet. Then he donks out 6.
Hmm.
That's a believable story. I hit my ace. Now I'm gonna try to extract a little bit of value.
Sure. Or he block bets with pocket eights. I would still just call here. I don't know. It's probably
Yeah.
never bluff, but I feel like maybe
Yeah.
he thinks it's a value bet with Jack 10. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a tough one, I thought too. I wasn't sure. And the bet size was small enough. I talked myself into calling when I probably kind of knew better, but it's kind of a good one to think about.
No, I play a very exploitable style. I just
Uh,
think that
Bub, you're up next.
I like to raise this hand. Oh,
And you
great.
get to go three-way to the flop.
Out of position. I'm checking. So wait, before I say this, I think in this position we could actually bet ourselves. But I like a check. Anyways. Um, I'm going to check raise here.
Bob, I like the cut of your jib. Anybody else have thoughts on how this was played?
I either bet or check raise here. If I check, it's to check raise, but
It would be dicey if button just calls. I think still would check raise, but doesn't feel that good. I guess I
Yeah.
would still check raise here.
What do you, what do you guys think about this? Because he's got a shorter stack, I feel better about check raising than if he had a larger stack. Does that make sense?
yep, yep. Because if he had like
Mm,
if you're 300 big blinds deep, it can be a little bit your check raise folding,
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Think
right?
of the extremes.
So
Like assume
so if he's only got like 43 back, then it's a huge difference, right? Because
when you think about the extremes, like you said, like if we're B 300 big blinds effective here and we check raise a hand like this that we have, that's probably not optimal.
yeah, we're check raise folding, right?
Whereas if the villain has a short stack, let's say he has 20 big blinds,
Well, then
then
I'm
we're
totally happy
absolutely
to get it all
fine
in.
getting the rest of the money in.
Yeah.
there's also something to be said about I think cutoff should never bet here on the flop. That's
Mhm.
like
Should never
uh
bet.
I think he shouldn't. He should
I
check
think,
to button. Button should do start with some action and then go from
Yeah.
there.
Yep, I
uh,
agree.
I'm fine with a bet there. I think that like if you think that you're playing in a game where people are mostly super passive, like at 1-2 where I play, most of the people are super passive. So if money's
Okay,
gonna
that's
go in, I'm usually the one shoving it in.
sure. I mean,
But
yeah, one
the,
way is to think about it in theory, and the other thing
yeah.
how people play.
So if the people that you're playing against are aggressive enough that you can get a check raise in there, then checking is definitely the right way. But in my games, people are so passive. If money's going to go in, I'm going to be the person shoving it in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, get it in with your value versus
Yeah.
passives for sure.
Yeah.
Brian, you're up.
A three bet, squeeze, probably like 12, 13. Oh, that's great. Um, I got jammed on.
You did.
That's great.
A cold four bet jam.
Yeah, I don't love this. I'm probably just gonna fold.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's a fold. We see that. No flop, Brian. Go again.
Um, you can mix four bet and call here. How many hands? I can't see. 16. We're in position. I don't hate calling here, but you can four bet. That's fine too.
Do you think you
Uh,
would mostly call, or would you mostly four bet, or do you have a way that you determine?
live poker. I'm not four betting here.
Okay, yeah, good,
Uh,
good thought. Yeah, this is almost a pure four bet for me at 100 NL.
yeah, no, that's. I think it's reasonable. 100. You can probably. It's probably a very good four bet. But live, when they three bet out of the blinds, that's a pretty usually a very strong range. So I'd rather play in position against them and actually have a chance to get away from it if I need to. All right, so you four bet, he jams. Oh God. Well, this is 100 NL, so I guess you can call here.
Yeah, and then we just run into it.
That sounds about right.
Okay, Derek,
Okay.
you have a poster and somebody who has isolated the poster, and it gets to you here with ace queen suited in the small blind.
Well, this is a 3-bet all day. Although we can call and just use our horrible position, but I don't want to. Like small blind, I think I'm kind of raise fold kind of guy
Hmm.
because I hate like I like to take advantage of the no flop, no drop.
Me too.
So I'm gonna bet big here. He's got 96 back.
Yep.
Let's go to 16.
That is exactly what I would do 80% of the time.
Okay.
I'm going 80% I would do that. I think
Yep.
in this case, and probably the reason I marked it is because I did that this time.
Oh, I hate that. Hate that. I never play like that. Like
Yeah. This is
what
this is unusual.
what is the thinking behind this? Like this is like I said inconceivable. This is like
Inconceivable.
Fish
Yeah, no,
somewhere. There's a fish somewhere.
inconceivable.
this is highly
I mean, like
unusual for me.
we got
But be,
the
be,
hijack. Okay, hijack
yeah,
is full of shit, right? So let's go 16.
yes, I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure why I chose to flat this one. Only because it was suited. If it was offsuit, I would absolutely not. That would be inconceivable.
yeah, yeah.
But I did choose to flat here.
Are we trying to get money from the limper? I mean the
Yeah, I
poster.
think because you have this recreational who has posted that
Uh,
I think the
you don't
suited
want to
version
kick
is
him out of
better
the.
to do this with, but I'm 100% on board with three betting, just three betting it instead of
So we want to
Do this
allow the
in
bad player
position.
to come into the pot. Is that what we're saying?
Y-
We're saying,
yes.
please, bad player. We want
Yeah.
to dance with the bad player. Don't kick the bad player out.
And if he doesn't, that's fine too.
Oh, but he does. We get our wish. We get our wish. The bad player limps
And look
calls
at
in.
you get to play bad and run good.
Right, right. Okay, so at this point, we want someone to take a stab at this. There's probably no. There's probably no queens. There's one queen out there, and 3 jacks out there. So we want someone with jacks to take a stab at this.
So you check.
Oh yeah. Oh, we continue our oh we continue our facade. Check again.
All right, I went for value
Oh,
with
I
this
don't
one.
like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like we want to give them a chance to bluff. What are we getting value from?
I think I'm trying to build a pot against somebody that does have a jack.
Well, like if they have a jack, then you don't need to do that because they're gonna bet here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're
So
you're right.
so so I think this is inconceivable. I don't play like this at all.
No, I'm not saying this was good. What I do would like to see is if we get a big bet or like an earlier position type range, maybe.
You mean if they bet?
No, no, a pre-flop. I just wanted to see. I kind of wanted to see if the ace queen suiteds kind of sneak in there a little bit. Not really. I thought I would see more calling, but no, I'm
What?
100% on board with everything you said so far.
Yeah. Like I don't play like that, but it's interesting that to go through the like I like the idea of allowing the bad player to come in, right? So that does maybe that was going through your brain. Was that going through your brain when you were thinking?
Yes, no, there's no question about it. The
Yeah.
fact that I had a poster here, I was okay with using this hand as something that I was just going to flat with, and it went.
Okay.
I,
Because
I, I got lucky.
if you're gonna flat that, this is a place where you want to do it, I guess, eh? When you can entice a bad player to come into the pot.
No, I think I'm with Brian though. I would probably more likely do it if I was in position and not out of position.
Yeah. I hate the out of position.
Dean, you are up, Dean. Let's see if you can spew any worse than that hand.
Oh, I can. I can. Are you raising?
Yeah, let me move some stuff out of the way so we can see these guys. Okay.
I
I
guess
assume you're
first
raising
blind, yeah.
and you get defended.
Hmm. I usually just bet small, but I can see you check.
We check and get face a half pot bet.
Call. Hmm. Check call.
Check, check.
No, just throw out like three big blinds.
Do you think we win? Do you think we lose? What do you think? What are the
Yeah, they probably just got like an ace or something. Thinking we're gonna chop. Oh shit. Okay.
does anything about our play or anything about the result make us think we should have played it any different?
Well, we get money from the 5 and we get money from the 2 and 3.
How about anything other than a non-flush?
Like we're betting so tiny. We're saying if you have a 2 or a 5 or a 3, give me money. That's what we're essentially saying, right?
What about an ace?
Are they folding a jack for this? Like most people, especially somebody who's coming up like joining short stack.
Yeah, we might get money from a jack.
Yeah.
But well, I guess seven's a monster here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, other than his call pre-flop, which is probably fine too, I think he played it fine as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Seven, like
Kevin, Kevin's no longer with us. Melanie is no longer with us. Rob is up,
All right.
and you get a min raise from the button with ace 10 off.
Let's go to 9.
Can I
Or
sell?
just three bet it. Whatever you want.
Okay, can I sell you on a call instead
Oh
of three
yeah,
bet?
yeah. No, a call's fine.
I know that's what I do here, but
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine too.
and I think we certainly can three bet, no question. I do know I have looked at a lot of because I face a lot of this min raising from positions, and I know that we get to do a lot of calling, even with hands that seem like we should be three betting more than like you would think. And maybe in the real world, we still should be three betting more often than what, say this is going to move this out of the way, than something that we see here. So this is 2x raises. And notice the button, a min raise, and our big blind. Look at how often we get to call.
Oh
And
wow.
I think at the time
Wow.
I also had the same thought as you. I was like, I know we get to call. I just didn't know how far down in range we start to just flat. I mean, look at ace queen.
look at Jack
Yeah, but
8
it's
offsuit.
weird because like folding is a higher percentage than even raising. So you're better off to fold than to raise. Huh.
Yeah, not that hand, obviously, but
Oh, sorry.
Do you guys fold Jack 8 offsuit here? Queen 8 offsuit? Queen, I mean, like, that's pretty, I'm not a big fan of Jack 8 offsuit.
no, but to the min raise, that's what brings all of this stuff in.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to show us that because it kind of surprises me too. Like I thought we should be three betting more often, but so I wound up just calling, and we get to see a flop.
I would have check.
And you face a small bet.
I'm gonna call.
I like it.
I'm gonna check.
And he checks behind.
I think I might check again. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna check.
I think that's good too. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I don't remember the hand, but I only remember it pre-flop because of that's what we were talking about. I don't
Right.
remember here. And I'm trying to think if I can ever get value with our second pair top kicker. And I almost think that we can. I don't know if I do bet. Do I bet? I don't. I check.
I think I can
And
get value with a small raise. See this, I'll oh God, that's half. Shit.
yep.
I mean, I'm between just calling and folding, obviously. I'm not gonna re-raise this. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna fold.
I feel like I'm going to call here. And I think only because we given them rope. They have a pretty wide range. Yes, they can often have a hand that's going to beat us. But we have a bluff catcher? And do they have a big enough range that allows us to be good here 25% of the time or 75% of the time? I don't know if I call. Let's see if I call. I do call. And we're going to lose. He had the straight. Should we be overfolding? I feel like this is a hand that we can call in theory, but should we overfold because population doesn't bluff enough? Or are we in a configuration, button versus big blind, where he's going to have enough hands in his range that allows us to call?
Yeah,
That's,
I sit as like 50-50, really. I mean,
yeah.
in the population. I'd be curious to see what the solver says, but yeah.
Does we'll run through it real quick. Oh, we can't do it to the min raise. I can't do a post flop to a min raise, unfortunately. All right. A lot of silence on that one. No discussion to be had. Larry, you're back to the top.
All right, we like tens. We like flippers. I said a seven here.
This is a standard size here for me. 5.5 is a pot size rice ISO.
Hmm.
7 is certainly good. And you get called twice,
Okay,
which is what you want to avoid.
true. And he donks into us big. So let's classify our hand. Our hand is a pure bluff catcher. He's claiming he has an ace. He very well may. Um, we don't have any draws. Our hand is static. Can't improve. He's got 50 behind. I think this is a fold, and it feels like an overfold. But I think he bet pot to two people. Hard to find draws. Maybe he has like a five or a three though. But I think we just hero fold. Fold of a lion, sir.
Yep. Good job. And if we've talked Nuffle enough, we know that pot size donks multi-way is very often top pair or better. Oh, did we already see it?
No, I didn't see it. What was it? Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Okay, good fold, Larry. Rodney,
Okay. Let's, we will three bet this to 10.
I don't think I do. I know these ranges pretty well. And while I think it exists, It's pretty much all in for me anyway, and I think we can certainly get on board with three betting. But to an early position raise, the ace queen off is like right here.
Your call. Gotcha.
And the reason is they are just typically going to have a much stronger range from the low jack, obviously. That's the reason. But I certainly wouldn't fault anybody for three betting ace queen off there.
And since we called, we will just check and call. Or would you ever check raise?
Oh, you said we call. Yep. Okay, that's what I did. Yep. I don't know that I would check raise this without a club. So maybe we should. It in some capacity. All right. So we called. I assume you are still going to check
Check,
or okay.
check, yes.
And you get check behind.
And here I would make a probably 75%, maybe even a pot size bet.
I'm looking at
Just
this.
simply because I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I'm trying to determine what size bet. I think just off the top of my head, I don't remember this hand, but I kind of feel like a block bet is good here because they've kind of I don't know. I suppose they could check back an
Hmm.
ace after they've c bet and then checked an ace after getting called. And that's what we want when we bet. We want to get called by an ace, right?
Yeah, one.
Or or they want to bluff catch us with something like a worse queen or maybe pocket tens or something else that they would have to bluff catch with.
mhm.
So let's say we go a little bit crazy, like 2x pot here. Um, I would guess that some ace X will still call you because he has ace ace with a queen kicker and 5-5. Something like ace six clubs.
Yeah,
Could
thinking they're going to
could
chop a lot.
yeah, some people do call for a chop. So I don't know how big we can go to get value from an ace, but I would actually don't try to get value from a queen. I would try to get value from an ace here, and I would go as big as I can to get value from that.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I can't argue that. And I'm trying to figure out what would be best. Let's see what I do. I do go pot. I did go pot here.
Which I
And
like,
oh, and we got raised.
which I don't like.
That was unexpected.
Um,
Was this was Rodney's hand? Rodney, you
Man,
said Rodney, you said go pot, right?
I did.
Yeah, so we went pot and then we faced this. Now it's back to you.
Well, let's see. What I mean, golly, maybe he's got a five in his hand. Would he? Would he in that position though? Would he have a? Would he have a five? I guess we just fold.
Anybody in the chat?
I'm still thinking about calling. He could value raise ace king if he has it somewhere here.
I think we beat value and the price. mm, if he shoves us one thing here, I think we hero call. Yeah, I think it's a hero call.
And he
I
has
think it's
five. Sucks.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was a tough one.
yeah.
Everybody on board with a larger size bet on the river? Our original bet? We like
I
a
mean, in
larger
theory,
size?
I think in theory on the paired board, our size does go down. So I don't think we use, I mean, that's one of the few 5X he has, but um, I think that your size is good. I think when the board pairs, we don't in theory use a bigger size.
Yeah, I was thinking a smaller size would be good, but
Yeah.
okay. And from Rodney, we go to Bub.
All right. Erase. 3-bet. Oh. Um, I probably call too much in these spots, and I will call here.
Let me ask you this, Bob. What if, Bub, if this guy folds and it's back to you, what do you do?
Um, yeah, I mean it's button versus cutoff. I feel like I will continue here.
Yeah.
There are other positions where I would think about falling sevens.
I would fold sometimes. I think because this guy's in the pot, does everybody agree that it makes it an easier call, or does it make it a worse call if there was a thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, at this point, I feel like we are just
Well,
set mining.
It's a better
And
call. Better
Yeah.
call.
I
He's in.
yeah.
like what goes through my mind in this situation is, will the guy lose all his chips when I flop a set? Right?
Yeah, you drilled that flop.
So
Um,
so so good
Lose.
players won't do that.
I would
I,
check here.
Check, check, check.
All right. Um, okay. So if we want to bet, this would be the time. But I personally just check here. I feel like we have some showdown. We have a draw. We could bet, but I don't feel like it's necessary. We could still run into a flush or something.
Yeah. This hand I do remember because I do bet and I was obviously turning it into a bluff here.
I mean, you have a lot of draw, so you can make a full house. You know, and you can still make a flush. Can't be that bad to bet, but yeah. But what now? So we did bet the turn. Yeah, I'm a little bit lost here. I would check and probably
he probably, what did he
lose
do? He three bet and then checked the flop, right?
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
best hand he has here?
some 9x, some pairs.
Other than his traps, queens.
So I think, yeah, I mean, he has maybe a sliver. He has a sliver of traps. How much should you bet to get value from queens?
You can have ace X as well. He could have ace jack, ace 10 suited, ace
Yeah, I'm gonna
5
say
suited.
he just doesn't have a lot of brick walls here, though. I think that he has less. Because I think on the turn when you come out and only bet half pot, like if he flopped it with ace, if he flopped the full house, he's probably gonna start piling in money faster. I would say I think you can jam here, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like how I wound up playing this. I wish I had bet here.
You don't have showdown value. This is so you're either giving up or you're saying, and you're not saying I have showdown value because you very likely do not. I mean, what does he get here with it? You beat maybe queen, jack, some sort of one heart hand. I mean, at the minimum, you can go small to target his queens with, now his queens with a heart of call. I don't know. I think that there's not enough brick walls and that you can rip it and you're going to get folds often enough that it's not going to be, that it's fine when you do get snapped off with like ace king or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Dean
wanted to
also
put
writes it in chat. Anything we beat, they're probably going to bluff. That makes sense. I mean, just fold.
Yeah.
I fold. I wonder what I
Now,
want. What do you have?
it's a good thing we didn't run it, but
Yeah,
but I
I
do
wonder
think that betting,
if
I
the
do think
turn
that
bet was
betting there
good.
would have been good because we put pressure on his weak ace X's that he has three bet and his eights, not his eights, tens, jacks, and queens.
I think that that's a brick wall, but I think that you're gonna run into those, obviously. But I think that often enough, you're gonna get the folds from queens, jacks, weak ace X, all of that stuff to just rip it here. And yeah, you get snapped off by his king, but I think a lot of the time you get away with it. And maybe not even rip it, maybe do what he did and bet pot. So you still, when he does have ace king or something like that, you get snapped off and you save yourself 26 big blinds.
All right, it's up to you, Brian.
Raise 3 or 2.5, that works. All right, we're in position. Okay, goes check. He donks multi-way. Um, I don't know if I actually even want to call here. It's going to be a stronger range for a bigger size multi-way. It's going to be a lot of strong but vulnerable hands, most likely. Some Jack X, stuff like that. I would say you could actually maybe call one time, and if 58 gets out of the way, we can find a way to steal this. But I think calling and folding are fine. But I think if you call and 58 calls, you just give up on this. Yep, now we're just getting out of here. Yep, we fold.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Okay. Yeah, I think I probably at the time was going to initiate a Nuffle plan, but when he called, then my plan shut down.
Yeah, I was about to say I would get out of the way as soon as that other guy. You would have won.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Dean,
Yep,
here you go. You are raising your ace nine suited,
I
and
am.
you
I'm doing
get to
that.
see a flop against a short stack.
Hmm. I usually see bet king high flops. Yeah, I mean I'd go for it.
And what size is going for it?
Like 75.
Big blinds.
Yeah. Well, you checked. I'd go check call. I don't know if we check raising this. Check. Hmm. Hmm. Probably fold, but VPIP 44 and he fucking get
Yeah,
this hands.
pretty passive. Um, yeah, the turn was a definite question. This is where I was probably this is probably why I marked it. Because we know the flop is a C bet here, like at a very high frequency. We know that.
You think
Uh,
with this hand?
We could run it, right?
yeah, with pretty much your entire range. Yeah.
Hmm.
We could run it though, because it's not
Yeah,
anything too weird.
it's not a range bet per se. However, it's just going to be a high frequency. He was on the button. I mean, it's not gonna be a range bet. It never will be out of position. But the king 10 flop, it was king 10, not a spade though. King 10 rainbow, I think it was, right? King 10,
It was
I'm
a
saying
spade,
there was one spade.
there
like
was one
six
spade.
spades. Or no, there were five and four spades. 'Cause we had the
Two
Oh, 10 of spades, deuce of
diamonds.
diamonds. Oops.
No, no, no. King of clubs, ten of spades, deuce of diamonds. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see the high frequency C bet here.
And that's against a very, very tight range that he has. We know that his range is probably 4x, 5x. What solvers is?
And it was a spade of some kind. Three of spade. I just want to reveal the river.
Jam the river. His face.
Oh,
Stupid face.
get over here. Three of spades. Do we continue? What do we do? Our spades always want to just keep going.
Mhm.
Dean, you nailed it. That hand in particular wants to do nothing but keep betting.
What's interesting is that we're betting with the
Face.
spades and giving up without. And that's kind of counterintuitive because we want him to have busted spades.
We will also check some
But our ace
king.
nine would beat his busted spades.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like if
But
he has
then why
spades,
aren't we
like
just
our ace nine is like going to be better.
th- why are we why are we not betting all the other ace nine that we get him?
I think this happens because we basically decided we're going to start turning our hand to a bluff on the flop. And now when we pick up equity, we're going to continue.
Yeah, but this line also includes ace nine and ace all the ace nines that use this, but they give up. All the other
No
ace
idea.
nines.
But he uses like king nine because it can fold out like aces. Our ace nine is not folding out like better aces here. They're not
Yeah,
folding
but
out
all the
ace
other ace
jack,
nines
ace
fold out
king,
better aces and they're
ace
not
queen,
doing it. That's my point is it does probably doesn't matter in the long run, but my point is that
equity.
it's counterintuitive that the ace nine of spades would continue the bluff with the nine blocker, nine of spade blocker specifically. But the other ones that we get here with ace nine diamond, ace nine club are giving up. It's counterintuitive.
Seems more intuitive to me to continue with your equity. Continue
Well, okay.
bluffs.
Okay, I see it differently. Let's move on.
Dean, Kevin, Melanie, Rob.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Rob, you're up. You get this lovely, beautiful King Jack of Diamonds to a limper.
Like around four. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pot size would be 4.5. A lot of people like to go 4.5. Some people like to go even bigger, 5 or 6.
I'm in the
4 is
bigger
my
club.
standard.
I'm in the bigger club, definitely.
And you get called in through two other places, and you get donked into.
Oh, with 60 I might just I might call this.
I have a feeling I deviate and raise. Do I? No, I just call.
But yeah, well the guy behind I guess is a problem, but yeah. I'm now I'm gonna call again. No, I'm gonna fold.
I think folding is right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lose.
I was trying to figure out why he would play like that, and that's the only hand that makes sense because I was like
It's
3-2
really
doesn't
weird
make
play by him.
sense.
Really
Like
weird play.
All right.
5-2.
That takes us to the top of the list, and I have to run.
All right.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you very much.